lining up out in the street and see who has the quickest draw. And I think that's who will win the game.
Ohio State did last year what Michigan did this year. Look.
Presenting the 225-member Michigan Marching Band. Band take the field. Handler, Kristen Kolash, and Lynn Cubitt. The Michigan Pom-Pom Girls for 1981. And now we invite you to stand to join Professor Reynolds and the marching band in our alma mater, the yellow and blue.
Bobby Thompson, the co-captain on defense, has just shaken hands with Eddie Myers, the running back. They're not on the schedule in the foreseeable future. But this should be quite a football game. There was a big question as to whether or not the fine running back, Eddie Myers, would play. But he's in the starting lineup. He's about set. We see the Navy 11 with their traveling uniforms, meaning that they're wearing the white jersey, typical of a college team playing away from home in Michigan, in their traditional maize and blue, and those wing-tipped helmets so characteristic of Michigan, whether they're home or away. Well, this is going to tell us a lot about Michigan. Is Michigan the team that took the field 2 weeks ago against Wisconsin? Or is Michigan the team that took the field against Notre Dame when Notre Dame was #1 in the country and Michigan played such a magnificent game last Saturday? Well, we'll know the answer to that question over the next 2 hours. Frank, I think you're about set. I see the Michigan team is ready to kick off. Ali Haji Sheikh, who hasn't been too good on the field goals, but he certainly has been very effective on his kickoffs, Frank, and we'll see what he can do here today. 104,000 fans along with you and me. We're all set, anxiously awaiting kickoff, the last non-conference game for Michigan of 1981. Michigan versus Navy. Ali gets the nod from the referee, Otho Courts, and we're just about set for play-by-play, and here's your very fine and astute play-by-play man, Frank Beckmann.
Thank you, Robert. Haji Sheikh has the ball teed up at the 40. Tim Jackson and Napoleon Mccallum are in the deep spots for Navy, and Haji Sheikh's kick is a high and deep one, fielded by Mccallum in the end zone. It'll be a touchback. No run back for Navy, and the Middies will start out at their own 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Mitchell out wide to the right. Tarquinio gives to Jackson, the fullback, and he's sacked up at the line of scrimmage by Tony Osmond. Rest of them coming up. Right now back to the action. Tarquinio on a draw play up the middle to Myers, fights his way to the 25, where he's tripped up again by Tony Osmond. Gain of about 3 on the play, and Navy will have it 3rd and 5 at its own 25-yard line. 3rd and 5 for Navy, and Tarquinio back to throw for the first time. Swings it out in the right flat, complete to his running back Myers, but he is tripped up by Evan Cooper right at the 22-yard line. A loss of 3 on the play, and Navy will be forced to punt.
That was just a great play, Frank, by Evan Cooper. I'll tell you, he had a flanker out there that he had to watch. Then he detected the short pass and came up quickly and decked him for a loss.
In punt formation, Brian Carpenter deep for Michigan at his own 40-yard line, awaiting the kick from Fair. No pressure, and Fair booms a high spiral, and a deep one at that. Carpenter to his own 34 to make the grab. Going to his right, hit by a couple of Navy defenders as he crosses the 35 to about the 38-yard line. A 4-yard return by Brian Carpenter off the 44-yard punt by Navy Steve Fair. And so the Michigan offense comes onto the field for the first time this afternoon. No score in the ball game. We're just underway. With one wide receiver, Carter, split out wide to the left. Both tight ends in for Michigan. Dunaway in motion to the left. To give to Woolfolk. Tries to find a hole up the middle, but he is racked up in the middle of the line by Carl Wagner, starting at a linebacker spot for Navy this afternoon. Woolfolk reaching the 40-yard line, so it's a gain of 4 on the play. Both tight ends in again for Michigan. The pitch back to Woolfolk, sweeping right. Gets a block in front of him from Engram and from Beth. Cuts up over the 45 to the 47-yard line. And that will be very close to a Michigan first down. Away comes out, and Betts is the only tight end. I formation behind Smith. He gives the ball to Woolfolk. The deep man fights his way for a couple of yards to the 48, and that's all. Dunaway, the tight end in motion, left fumble on the snap by Smith. He picks it up and then trips to the ground, but there is a flag on the play. Illegal procedure down. That's what it looked like to you.
I would guess it'd be a legal procedure. When you blow the whistle that quickly, that's normally the call.
That's 2nd and 13 for Michigan at its own 44. Bean wide to the left, and Carter to the right. And the give is on a draw to Woolfolk. Big hole up the middle. Woolfolk spins his way to midfield before he is hit by Mike Crum, the starting right tackle. And now the backs are split behind Smith, and he drops straight back to throw. Dumps it over the middle to Woolfolk at the 45, and Woolfolk is brought down on a great defensive play by Andy Ponciego, who dropped Woolfolk at the 47 as Butch tried to make a move on him and ended up losing 2 yards, and Michigan is stopped short of the first down. This Rockin back inside his own 40 to accept the snap. Here's the kick, and he'll boom this one right through the Navy end zone. There will be no return. A 47-yard punt by Don Brockington. No return, and Navy will put the ball in play at its own 20-yard line again. First down and 10. Tackle. Tight end Papa John lines up to the left side of the line. I formation for Navy. Tarquinio, the quarterback, gives it to Myers. Fumble on the play. Tarquinio dives for it, and I believe he got it. The Navy quarterback very alert to pick up the fumble of Eddie Myers, the tailback. Doug James also near the ball, but Tarquinio got it right at the 16-yard line for a loss of 4. And down 14 for Navy at its own 16-yard line. Tarquinio with a long snap count. Yelder, the only wide receiver to the right. The give is to deep man Myers, and he's going to be swarmed by Osmond, by Boren, Gergash in there. All at the 16-yard line. No gain on the play, and it'll be 3rd down and 14 for Navy. Now Yelder lines up wide to the left. And Mitchell wide to the right. Tarquinio gives it to Myers on the sweep on 3rd and 14. Tries to cut it upfield at the 20, but he is brought down there by Doug James, a nose tackle who shot out from his position. Good pursuit to make the tackle after a gain of 4, and Navy's forced to kick again. Middies, his second punt of the ball game. He's standing back at his own 5, gets the snap. No rush, per se, and Fair's kick is a high one, but rather short. And Carpenter comes up to make a fair catch at the Navy 47-yard line. So just 27 yards on the punt by Steve Fair. And the Wolverines get good field position in the exchange of kicks. The officials now mark it at the Navy 46. The linemen on the other side, Bean and Carter, the wide receivers. I formation in the backfield for Engram and Woolfolk behind Steve Smith. He fakes the ball, goes option left, cuts it upfield to 45, and he is brought down by Ponciego, the linebacker over there, as he reaches the 44-yard line of Navy. So just a gain of 2 on Steve Smith's first carry of the ballgame. Down to the 35-yard line before he's brought down by Jeff Shumake. It'll be a first down for Michigan. They will give Woolfolk to the Navy 33. A gain of 11 on the play as Butch just broke it behind Moransky and Becker. A big hole in that Navy defensive line. Now Smith sends Carter wide to the left and Bean wide to the right. And that familiar eye behind him. 4 men up front for Navy, and one of the Michigan linemen moved too soon. Looked like Stephon Humphrey's the left guard, and Michigan will be called for illegal procedure. 1st and 15, actually 16 at the 39-yard line for Michigan. And back goes Smith to throw. Fakes and throws left to Carter. He's got it at the left sideline at the 27. Gets a block. It's down to the 20 and out of bounds at the 16. Andy Pontiego finally came back to make the tackle. Carter made a great move on Elliot Reagans at the left sideline. Cut it upfield and moved the ball all the way down to the Navy 16. 23 yards and a first down for Michigan. And Smith is 2 out of 2 this afternoon. And both of the fellas in the blue uniforms, too. Comes to Woolfolk straight up the middle. Angles off to his left when the middle's clogged up. Gains a couple of yards down to the 12, and Jeff Shumake makes the tackle. Again, the Woolfolk, he's got Engram in front of him, but a good defensive play by Travis Wallington, the stand-up left end for Navy, and Woolfolk is brought down right at the 10-yard line. He just shedded the block from Engram and got through to tackle Woolfolk after a 2-yard gain. 60, early, 63. Carter now wide to the left. Balanced line for Michigan with 2 tight ends in, and the give, Smith fakes the ball to the fullback and then keeps it himself and moves it inside the 5-yard line for a first down. Good fake by Steve Smith. Everyone in the ballpark thought he gave it to Engram.
Well, it was a great individual effort because he was caught behind the line, kept driving his legs like pistons, and able to make the first down. So you got to give Smith a lot of credit on that particular play.
And Vince Bean, the only wide receiver, comes out wide to the left. Dunaway is lined up to the right in the balanced line. Betts to the left. Engram and Woolfolk behind Steve Smith, the quarterback. Long snap count. Gives straight ahead to Woolfolk. Finds a hole. Fights his way down to the 1 and in for the touchdown. Butch Woolfolk with second effort. He was hit at the 1-yard line, but would not be stopped. And so Woolfolk goes over from 4 yards out, and Michigan goes ahead of Navy 6-0. 46 yards in 7 plays for the Wolverines. And Woolfolk has his second touchdown of the young season. He also has 39 yards and 8 carries this afternoon, well on his way to his 5th consecutive 100-yard effort. Haji Sheik in to attempt the extra point for Michigan. Ryan Bergeron out to hold. The kick is up, and the kick is perfect. And so Michigan has gone on top of Navy by a score of 7-0. And with that 7-0 count, let's take time out on this, the Michigan Football Network. Haji Sheik ready to kick it off. His boot is deep into the end zone again. Jackson and Mccallum go back. Jackson tries to field it at the back line, but it sails right through the end zone. A touchback again. Now Navy first and 10 at its own 20. Myers with the ball at left tackle. Finds a little hole before he is met by Gergash. He got to the 24. Gain of 4 on the play for the Navy tailback, and it'll be 2nd down and 6. And Mitchell, the wideouts. In motion comes Papa John, the tight end. The give is straight ahead to Jackson, the fullback. He fights his way over the 25 to about the 27 or 28-yard line.
You know, Frank, this has been a great series. They're a tough, well-disciplined team. It's always been a pleasure to play against the Academy. I think this is the last of our series. I don't know whether we have them scheduled in the future. Well, there'll have to be some changes made. You know, Brian has been returning punts, so we'll see what will happen when Navy does have to kick to us.
Also, Osmond out of the ball game, and Winford Caraway in at the right tackle spot for Michigan, so that changed defensively. Navy 3rd and 2 at the 28. The option to the left, and Gergash has it smelled out and brings down Tarquinio at about the 29, short of the first down. Good tackle by Paul Gergash. Actually about 1.5 yards. The ball just shy of the 49-yard line, and the Middies will be forced to punt. Leave this punt from Fair. Standing back at his own 35-yard line. Fair standing inside his own 15, gets a perfect snap and gets his kick away. A wobbly little kick. Jackson comes up the field and it gets by him at the 40, and Navy grabs it at the 35, but I don't believe Jackson touched it. And Michigan will get the football, and there's a break.
There certainly is, Frank, and maybe it's inexperience. First time for him. I know he's worked it in practice, but the type of kick that was one that's like a knuckleball. It's just difficult to handle. It's fading away from you, and the more you run towards it, the more it goes away.
Beth, the tight end, lined up to the right. Carter split wide to the right, and Bean wide to the left. The I formation behind Smith. Option left, he keeps it. Smith is going to be hit right at the 34-yard line and brought down at the 35. Drops back to throw on 2nd and 9. Rifles it to Carter at midfield for a first down. Carter on that little slant just cut into the seams of the zone. No way Navy could defend on it. Made the grab and fell to the ground at midfield. 11 yards, first down, Michigan. I guess I'll take that back, won't I, Lane? 15 yards behind Smith. Long snap count. Bean wide to the right. Carter wide left. And here's the give on the draw to Ricks. Big hole up the middle. Flag goes down as Ricks fights his way to the Navy 41. The flag is back in the Michigan backfield and around the 47-yard line of the Wolverines, and everybody's walking back that way, so the penalty is apparently against Michigan.
Holding penalty brings the ball back to the 37. First down.
And now both tight ends in the ball game once again. Carter, the only wide receiver, is flanked to the short side of the field on the right. Dunaway in motion to the left. The pitch is back to Ricks, coming left. Gets a couple of blocks, tries to turn the corner, but is run out of bounds near the Michigan 39-yard line. So the busiest members of the Wolverines so far have been the Michigan training staff, Don.
It sure has. I don't know where. It's hard to tell on Stefan whether they're working on his knee. They've rolled up the pant leg a little bit, so I would say it's the knee area, and he appeared to be in pain.
Humphreys on the sideline, and Michigan goes back into action. 2nd and 21, and Smith back to throw. He's got Vince Bean open inside the Navy 40. And Bean goes down at the Navy 35, first down, Michigan. What a throw by Steve Smith. He found Bean open in a seam again in that Navy secondary. Threw the ball high, and Bean went up to make the grab. Steve Smith gained so much confidence with those 2 touchdown tosses against Notre Dame last week. Now here's a give to Rick, sweeping to the right, trips and falls as he gets to the 35.
22 times each weekend on WPAG Ann Arbor.
Back to the action, 1:23 remaining first quarter. Michigan second at 11 at the Navy 36, and Smith fakes the ball, drops back to throw, fires it in the right flat, complete to Engram, and he goes out of bounds around the Navy 26. Sort of a half screen. He faked the ball to Engram up the middle, and then once Engram got through the Navy line, he just rolled out into the right flat and caught the pass from Smith, and it's going to be just short of a first down at the Navy 26-yard line. Grim the up man. Ricks the tailback. Navy player jumped offside. Flag goes down. The give is to Ricks. Drop for a loss at the 29. But again, there was a flag on the play, and apparently that middy who jumped too soon did not get back. Rusty Smith, the rover, up to make the stop for a loss. Split to the wide side of the field to the left. That I formation behind Smith with Engram and Ricks. Smith gives the ball to the tailback. Check that. It's Woolfolk back in, and Woolfolk fights his way inside the 20. Down to the 16-yard line. I didn't see Butch come back in the ball game, but he's there. Michigan has it 1st and 17 from there. Now Bean and Carter both in, split out, and back to pass goes Smith. Rolls to his right, fires to Carter at the 16, and down he goes there. Steve Smith right on the money again, that time with plenty of pressure from that Navy defense. Smith forced to roll out to his right. Hit Carter. Chris Hauer made the tackle, but not before Carter picked up 12 yards to the 16-yard line, setting up 2nd and 5.
Well, Frank, if you give him enough time, now Smith kept his poise, was rushed, but rolled out, and then finally Carter shook himself free and hit him for the gun.
Now Engram and Ricks in that backfield, but the gun goes off before the play can start, and that is the end of the first quarter. With the score, Michigan 7, Navy nothing on this, the Michigan Football Network. 3rd and 4 for Michigan at the Navy 15. Smith apparently checking off at the line, drops back to throw. Looking for Carter, he's covered. Fires it finally over the middle to Woolfolk, and he's got it at the 10, and that'll be a first down. Steve Smith looked for Anthony Carter, who was well covered in the end zone, then had to check off to another receiver and found Woolfolk all alone at the Navy 10-yard line. Michigan's 8th first down, and Steve Smith is still perfect. 7 out of 7. Good job. High formation with Woolfolk and Engram in the backfield behind Smith. Carter split out wide to the left. Smith with a long snap count. Dunaway in motion right. The sweep going to the right to Woolfolk. Finds a hole at the 10. Fights his way inside the 5. Woolfolk down to the 2-yard line. Woolfolk just accelerating once he sees that hole in the Navy line and picked up 8 yards, and Michigan is knocking on the door, leading 7-0. We need it, but Bean goes out wide to the left. Both tight ends, of course, in the ball game. Betts to the right, Dunaway to the left. Michigan operating from the right hash mark. I formation. The give is the fake is to Woolfolk. Smith keeps it, goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan. Another good job of faking by Steve Smith, and a good job of running as well as Navy jumped all over Woolfolk. Smith found the hole, tippy-toed his way through and into the Navy end zone. 66 yards in 12 plays, and Michigan leads it 13-0. And Don, I don't know what kind of sign this is, but the cadets who are seated down behind the Navy bench, down near the other end zone, are standing up and singing the Michigan fight song.
Yeah, they're Michigan, ROTC Michigan people. Yeah, they came in. They're with Michigan, the ROTC program at Michigan, so they got to support us. They're here right now. The midshipmen are back behind in the seats.
I'm glad you pointed that out. I was worried for a minute. The kick by Haji Sheik is good, and so Michigan leads Navy 14-0 on this, the Michigan Football Network. Sheik's kick into the wind this time. Sends Jackson back to the goal line. He fumbles the ball, picks it up at the 5, and is brought down right there. Tom Hassel, the backup fullback, playing on the special teams, was down to cover Tim Jackson, the Navy fullback, who fumbled the kickoff at the goal line, was lucky to get it back on the bounce, and Navy has terrible field position back at its own 7-yard line. Went for a loss. Give us the fullback, Myers, looking for a hole up the middle. Nothing there. Michigan just pinches it in. Myers may have gotten a yard. That's all. But John, the tight end's in motion to the left. Tarquinio fakes the ball to Myers. Steps up into the pocket. Yelder's wide open at the 35 and drops the football. Yelder just ran a streak up the sideline, and no one was near him for Michigan.
I don't know whether Tony Jackson made a move inside, but if he'd held on that ball, I don't think he would have been able to go all the way because the momentum would have carried him out of bounds, but he took his eye off the ball and dropped it.
And once again, Papa John's in motion to the left. Tarquinio gives the ball to tailback Myers, cutting to his left. No hole there, and he's brought down right at the 7-yard line. And Mike Boren's in on the tackle. Once again, and will not see any more action. Snap to Fair, he's got plenty of time. Kicks the ball high, but not real deep. Jackson at the Navy 46 looks for a hole. There's a whole host of Navy defenders there, though, and they bring him down as he reached the Navy 44. Carter is split to the right and Bean to the left, and Smith fakes to Woolfolk, drops back to throw again. He's going deep for Carter, and the pass is a little underthrown. Carter tipped it, and it's intercepted by Elliott Reagans, the defensive back for Navy, at the midi 2-yard line. Anthony Carter nearly pulled a miracle off on that pass that was underthrown by Steve Smith. He stepped up into the defender's arms, tipped the ball in the air, but Reagans intercepted it anyways with a good job of concentration, and Carter is shaken up.
Made a great effort and came down on himself some way, and he isn't walking on it, Frank, so it's 1st and 10 Navy on their 2.
Following the interception by Elliott Reagans. Now Tarquinio gives the ball to Skane, the new fullback in the lineup, and he gets the ball to the 5, and he is brought down there. So Caraway played only a series. Now 2nd down Navy, 6 to go at their own 6. Pitches to the left side, Mccallum, the freshman tailback, and he tries to turn it upfield and gets to about the 7, and that's all. Completed all 8. One of them went to Navy on that interception. Now 3rd and 5 for Navy at its own 7. Tarquinio calling the signals. Drops straight back into the pocket, fires it left sideline to Yelder, and he dropped it again. So Chris Yelder has a bad couple of series for Navy, and the young man from Detroit Country Day is just batting himself in the head and saying, how can I do that?
To quote Wally Weber, he's got rigid digits.
Just a case of the nerves, maybe. 4th down and 5. Fair back into his end zone to kick. High spiral. Aims it for the left sideline. Jackson comes up, makes the grab at the 44 of Navy, and is brought down right there. He might have gotten it back to about the 42, but that's all. With 10:41 remaining here in the first half, Michigan on top of Navy by a score of 14-0. And with the running backs are Woolfolk and Engram. Engram, who started in place of Stanley Edwards, who isn't playing because of a banged-up hip. Tight end Betts in motion to the left. Smith gives the ball to tailback Woolfolk, finds a hole, cuts his way inside the 35, down to the Navy 34-yard line. Brockington now wide to the right, Bean wide to the left. I formation, and we will see the tight end Dunaway, no doubt, come in motion to the right, and we do. And now the give is once again to Woolfolk, trying to pick a hole, but this time Navy's got it stacked up right at the 33-yard line. Mike Rouser, the stand-up end, comes in to make the stop. Sends Dunaway right. That's left. Smith gives it to Ricks, the tailback, and he didn't make it. Ricks is stacked up right at the 32-yard line, and you got to give that Navy defense some credit. They blew in and stacked up the play, and that is one inspired bunch of Navy players leaving the field. The Navy defense does the job, holding Michigan on 4th and 2 at the Navy 33-yard line. Navy with that slot right formation now. The backs are in an I. Those are Myers and Skane. Check that. It's Mccallum, the freshman, and he fights his way for a yard or two up to the 34 or 35, where he's brought down by Mike Boren. And I noticed that Chris Yelder has had trouble holding on to the football, and one wide receiver's out of the ball game. Weiler had one wide out, Mitchell at the other. Skane and Mccallum in the backfield behind Pagnanelli, and the pitch is back to Mccallum trying to find a hole as he sweeps left. Gets it just over the 35, and Boren once again makes the stop.
Now, there was a fine play by number 21, Evan Cooper, who diagnosed the play, immediately went in and tried to knock down some of the defense, which allowed the rest of the team to pursue. So it was a great, because they didn't have much room running into the sideline. So
now Mitchell splits out wide right, Weiler wide left to the short side of the field. The tight end, Papa John, switches to the right. Running backs are split. A passing formation for Navy as Pagnanelli calls the signals and drops straight back to throw. He's looking down the middle and throws it too low for Papa John, incomplete at the Navy 45. And so Michigan's defense has once again held Navy, which has not yet picked up a first down in the football game, and we have played more than 7.5 minutes in the second quarter. A high punt off, but not a very long one, and Jackson fumbles the football at the Michigan 33-yard line. There's a wild scramble for it, and Navy has recovered. The Middies have the ball at the Michigan 35, following the fumble by Tony Jackson of the punt by Steve Fair, and there's another case of how injuries can hurt you.
it certainly can, but Frank, that was another one of those punts that was extremely difficult to handle. Again, I guess I use the best description I know as a knuckleball. The ball is very difficult. It's not like the spiral going up.
Tight end Papa John in motion to the right, high formation. They give us the fullback Skane, finds a hole at the 35, fights his way down to the Michigan 31. Boren and Gergash made the initial hits, and Keith Bostic came up from his safety position to help out on the tackle, but it is a gain of 4 for Navy, recovering at the Michigan 35. And Pagnanelli gives the ball to the tailback Mccallum, and he's not going anywhere. He got just over the 30. Gergash comes up to plug up the hole. 3rd and 4 for Navy at the Michigan 29. In motion, Papa John to the right. I formation behind the quarterback, Pagnanelli, and he's back to throw. He's going deep for Mitchell in the end zone, or rather Papa John in the end zone, and it's overthrown. The big rush put on by Tony Osmond, or I'll take that back, by Cedric Coles, who was in right on top of Pagnanelli. Good coverage by Keith Bostic, who was 15 out of 23 last year, including a 50-yarder. So Fair's got a good leg. His kick is in the air. It's got enough distance, and it is good. A 47-yard field goal by Steve Fair of Navy. And so the field goal puts the Middies on the board, and our score now, Michigan 14, Navy 3 on this, the Michigan Football Network. Michigan 14, Navy 3. Despite the fact that the Middies have not yet picked up a first down. The field goal made possible because Navy recovered a fumbled punt at the Michigan 35-yard line. Don't forget, at halftime, Bill Steggeth will be along, and his halftime guest will be Dr. Richard Schneider from the U of M Medical Center. Backfield and give us to Woolfolk, trying to find a hole. He's tripped up as he crosses the 20 by Ponciego. Butch may have gotten it to the 21 or 22. 2nd down and 8 for the Wolverines, their own 22. And Smith, who has only missed one pass, drops back to throw. Fires it to Bean. It's behind him at the 38. Incomplete. Motion to the left, and back goes Smith, and he's the quarterback keeper straight up the middle to the 25, up over the 30. First down, Michigan. Steve Smith keeping the ball. He just dropped back, and it was the quarterback draw. He was never had any intention of throwing the football, and Smith picks up 9 yards to his own 31 to give Michigan its 9th first down of the football game. The tight end is Dunaway. He's aligned to the left. And Engram and Woolfolk. Ingram gets the handoff, and he is stacked up right at the 31-yard line. Good play by Tim Jordan, the middle guard for Navy, to stop that play for about a yard gain. That's all. That ankle injury. He's the third Michigan player to be driven in that golf cart for medical examination this afternoon. 2nd and 9 down on the field at the Michigan 32, and Smith's back to throw again. Straight in the pocket, got some time. He throws it to Beth, who makes the catch at the 35. Beth was brought down immediately by Mike Rouser, and the gain will go for about 3 yards, and that's all. In fact, they're going to mark the ball at the 34, and Betts really had to do a good job to hold on to the football.
Certainly did. Ball and the tackle about simultaneously. It was down around his hip area, and he held on to the ball, so it was a good catch. Not a very big gain, but a good play.
And Michigan now faces 3rd down and 7 at the 34. First series of downs, they had 3rd and 8, and now Jerry DiOrio moved too soon on the left side of that offensive line. He's in there replacing Stephon Humphreys, who was injured earlier. And Michigan will be set back 5 yards to make it 3rd down and 12. And that is now 5 penalties against the Wolverines. 5 penalties against Michigan for 35 yards in the first half of this ball game. 3:25 remaining in the half. Michigan 14, Navy 3. Bean wide to the left, Brockington wide to the right. I formation for Michigan. Steve Smith, the quarterback, calling the signals on 3rd and 12 at his own 29. Give on the draw to Woolfolk, and Woolfolk's lucky to get a yard to the 30. He's brought down right there by Tim Jordan, Navy's 6', 231-pound middle guard, is Jeff Shumake, who is, of course, a safety on defense, 6'1", 197 out of Louisville, Texas. He's a junior. Here's the punt by Bracken, kind of a wobbly kick. Shoemaker will grab it around his own 30, goes to his right, and is hit right there by Bostic and driven back. Bostic making the initial hit. 40-yard punt by Don Bracken. No return by Shumake, and Navy will put the ball in play at its own 31-yard line. Over, remember, early in the second quarter for Tarquinio when that Navy offense didn't move, and Pagnanelli has also been unable to produce a first down. Long snap count. Pagnanelli gives it to his tailback, Mccallum. Big hole, breaks into the secondary at the 40, out to the 44-yard line. First down, Navy. Their first down of the ball game. 15 seconds here. Station identification on the Michigan Football Network.
WPAG Ann Arbor.
First down, Navy at its own 44. Pagnanelli back to throw. Looking over the middle, fires it to Papa John, his tight end, inside the Michigan 45, and a flag goes down, and it's going to be a roughness call on the Wolverines, and that's going to give Navy a first down inside the Michigan 30. The pass was complete to Papa John, just running a simple curl at the Michigan 42. He made the catch, was brought down, and one of the Michigan defenders jumped on top. Totally unnecessary move, Don.
It was, and a good call. Fellas down, and they'll go up. I think that penalty is 15 yards.
Personal foul against Michigan. Ball at the 47.
Pagnanelli calling the signals. I formation with Mccallum and Skane in that backfield, and the fake is to Mccallum, and rolling to the right is Pagnanelli. He's going to keep it inside the 25, inside the Michigan 20, down to the 16-yard line. Another first down for the Middies. Finally, Keith Bostic comes up to make the stop, and one of the Navy players is shaken up around the 20-yard line. Good faking by the quarterback, Pagnanelli, there. And finally, he kept the ball, and I think it was planned he was going to run it all along. Michigan 16, and Pagnanelli's back to throw. He's looking, tries to throw it to Papa John in a crowd, and it goes incomplete at the Michigan 5. 2nd and 10 for Navy from there, with 1:47 remaining in the first half. Evan Cooper covering on the play, but there were several other Michigan defenders around, and Pagnanelli just tried to force that one in. This obviously the Middies' biggest threat of the afternoon. Now they split Kennedy out wide to the left. Looks like Mitchell out to the right. Pagnanelli calling the signals. Gives the ball to Mccallum, his tailback, finds a hole at left tackle, fights his way inside the 15, down to the 10, and finally down to the 9-yard line where he's hit by Doug James. Nellie calling the signals. I formation. He runs on the option right, pitches it back to Mccallum. It's strung out by Osborne, who makes the tackle on Mccallum for a 3-yard loss at the 13. So the Michigan defense stiffens and holds, and Navy will be forced to settle for a field goal, or at least an attempted one. I say Navy's going to be forced to settle for a field goal attempt. I thought for a moment they were going to go for it. Now I see Fair, the kicker, on the field. He sets the tee down at the Michigan 21. Pagnanelli, the quarterback, is holding for Steve Fair, who has already hit a 47-yard field goal in the ball game. This will be an attempt to 31. Kick is up. Plenty of distance. Plenty of accuracy. It's good. A 31-yard field goal by Steve Fair, and so Navy has scored again with 32 seconds remaining in the first half. Our score, Michigan 14, Navy 6 on this, the Michigan Football Network. There's kickoff for Navy, sails into the end zone. Rogers downs it there, no return. And so Michigan will have the ball first and 10 at its own 20 with 32 seconds remaining, 13-6, against a very determined and stubborn Navy football team that refuses to believe it's not as good as one of the top teams in the country.
Here you go, Frank. Action.
Woolfolk and Engram in the backfield, and Engram gets the ball straight up the middle, gets a yard or two, and that's it. Helmet specifically. You're not going to want to miss that discussion. 3 seconds now left in the half. 2, 1. Won't see another play. That is the end of the first half from U of M Stadium. With our score, Michigan 14, Navy 6 on this, the Michigan Football Network.
If you...
Right now, the second half ready to begin. Rogers and Ricks, deep for Michigan. Rick Rogers from Wayne Memorial. Lawrence Ricks. Fair set to kick it. Here we go into the second half. The boot is deep into the end zone. Rogers bobbles it about midway in the end zone and falls on it there. And Michigan will start the second half at its own 20-yard line. From playing in place of the injured Stanley Edwards, who has not played today. Smith gives the ball to the deep man Woolfolk. He cuts off right tackle looking for a hold. Fights his way for a couple up to the 23. Right now, let's pause 15 seconds for station identification. Michigan second down and 7 at its own 23-yard line in the early moments of the second half. And back goes Smith to throw. He fires it out in the left flat to Dunaway, and he dropped the ball at the Navy 33. 15-7, the top-ranked team in the state. Back goes Smith to throw. Rush on. He's going to be sacked back at the Michigan 15-yard line. Mike Rouser, the stand-up end, shooting through to sack Steve Smith for a 9-yard loss at the Michigan 15, and Navy's defense is held once again. Is the deep safety man for Navy, Ponciego, the short man, and the punt by Bracken is a good kick. It'll drive Shumake back to his 45. He lets it bounce. It takes a Michigan bounce inside the Navy 35, down to the Navy 32. And that is where the Middies will put it in play to begin their first series of the second half. The kick winds up going 53 yards for Don Bracken, his longest punt of the afternoon. He's averaging about 41.5 yards a kick on the season. High formation, toss back to Mccallum. The freshman tailback finds a hole at right tackle, cuts it up over the 35, because we have not seen him since the first quarter. Mccallum again with the ball straight up the middle. Robert Thompson's got him as he reaches the 39-yard line. 5 men stacked up tight in that Michigan defensive line. Now Thompson drops off. Tarquinio back to throw. He throws it out in the right flat. It's intercepted. Picked off. It looked like Tony Jackson. Or was it Evan Cooper? We'll have to wait and see. But it was Evan Cooper who got the interception for Michigan. The pass was intended for the fullback, Tim Jackson. Bounced off his hands, and Evan Cooper very alertly picked up the deflected pass, and Michigan has the football at the Navy 35-yard line. Cooper with his first interception of the season. And in the right flat, fires it to Beth, who has to go down and make the catch at the Navy 29. They may get him to the 28. So make it a gain of 6 on the play and sets up second down and 4. Dunaway sets up off the line of scrimmage. He will likely go in motion to the left, and he does. I formation to give is to Woolfolk. Big hole in the middle, over the 25, over the 20. Shumake makes the tackle down at the 18-yard line. First down, Michigan. Huge hole in the middle of that Navy line this time. And, Don, one thing I've noticed, Michigan in the last 2 weeks, when that tight end goes in motion, usually runs right behind the tight end. 11:15 remaining in the third quarter. In motion to the right is Betts. Woolfolk gets the handoff, follows Betts and Moransky and Paris, and gets down inside the 10-yard line. They'll mark it right at the 10, so it's an 8-yard gain by Butch Woolfolk. Moransky, Becker, Dixon, Diorio, and Paris playing in that offensive line for Michigan. Diorio, of course, replacing the injured Stephon Humphreys. 2nd and 2 at the Navy 10. The give again to Woolfolk. Tries to pick a hole at right guard, and he's stacked up. Gets close to that first down marker, however. And they may have to bring in the chains to measure. It's that Michigan looking for its 11th first down at the Navy 8-yard line. And Ortho Court says Michigan has it. First and goal to go for the Wolverines at the Navy 8. Woolfolk lined up in the eye, gets the handoff back at the 10, and Woolfolk is stacked up at the 8-yard line by Tim Jordan, the middle guard. Engram the fullback, Woolfolk the tailback. The fake is to Woolfolk. Smith's back to throw, looking in the end zone for Bean. Touchdown, Michigan! In the left corner of the end zone, Steve Smith found Vince Bean wide open. And Smith has thrown his third touchdown pass in 2 weeks. And Michigan has gone on top 20-6. They move 35 yards in 6 plays. What a wonderful afternoon Steve Smith is having. This youngster, rookie quarterback, if you can call him that, has completed 10 out of 13 now. And
he ran a very fine pattern down. He went to the inside, a little head fake, and broke to the outside, and Smith released the ball before he had really made his second cut, so it was a great play.
Smith has run for 1 touchdown, now thrown for 1. Haji Sheikh's extra point attempt is good. And so with 9:37 remaining in the third quarter, our score, Michigan 21, Navy 6 on this, the Michigan Football Network.
There are many.
Vince Bean's first touchdown for the University of Michigan ever. The wide receiver out of Southfield puts Michigan ahead 21-6. Haji Sheikh's kickoff into the end zone to Jackson. And unless my eyes were deceiving me, he was calling for a fair catch in the back of the end zone, Don. Well, Haji Sheikh's kickoffs have set them back. Darquinio quarterbacking Navy to give to Mccallum, the tailback. He's tripped up as he hits left tackle for a yard. That's all. That was a big touchdown because Navy was only trailing by 8. Touchdown and a 2-point conversion away. Now they're down by 15. Mccallum again tries the left side, breaks 1 tackle, but Boren's got him at the 25. So Mccallum gets 4 on the play, and it'll set up 3rd and 5 for Navy. Craig Smith, the right guard, shaken up for Navy. He's replaced by Dennis Sinnott, senior out of Annapolis, Maryland. 3rd down and 5 for the Middies at their own 25-yard line, and Darquinio goes straight back to throw. Blitz is on. Darquinio lofts it to Jackson, the fullback, and it's batted away at the last moment by Tony Jackson. Good defensive play. Darquinio lofted it up. The blitz on. He had Jackson open for a moment, and I think that was a time down where he might have tried to throw it just a little harder.
I think if he'd have thrown it just a little harder, I think it'd have been a reception. And Jackson timed it nicely and went up and almost intercepted, and the ball dropped to the turf.
Tony Jackson standing back at his own 42 to receive this kick for Michigan. Wolverines lead it 21-6. The kick is a high spiral. It doesn't turn over. Jackson's got it at the 40, and he's hit immediately. Now Michigan first and 10 at its own 39. Smith with Engram and Ricks in the backfield now. And the give is to Ricks. Going to the right side. Gets a good block over there from DiOrio and fights his way over the 45 to about the 46-yard line. Short side of the field, Bean wide to the left. The I formation. And the give is to Ricks, the tailback again at right tackle. Bursts his way to midfield. It's a first down for Michigan. In the third quarter, give us to Ricks again, the tailback. Flag goes down as Ricks knifes his way over the midfield stripe down to about the Navy 48. Navy unit is, and they've had only 1 penalty. Smith back to throw under a heavy rush, tackled for a loss. Back on the 32-yard line. Shooting through to make the play was Paul Soares, 6'4", 240-pound junior right tackle out of Wilmington, Delaware. Got Steve Smith for a loss. Second time Smith has been sacked this afternoon. And back goes Smith to throw. Fakes the ball to Ricks. Looks for a receiver all the time in the world. Now he's got to scramble a little bit. Steps away from one defender. Fires the ball into a crowd, and it's almost intercepted by Shumake. The pass actually broken up by Fred Brockington, the receiver, the intended receiver on the play. He had to reach around in front of Shumake to knock the ball away.
It certainly was a good play on Brockington's part. Otherwise, that ball would have been intercepted, Frank, I'm sure.
On a punt return unit, but he's the short man standing about the 32. Deep is Shumake, who nearly had that interception. End-over-end punt off the side of Bracken's foot. It's going to hit around the 30. Takes a Michigan bounce inside the 20, inside the 15, inside the 10, rolling to the 7, the 6. And Michigan will down it at the 6-yard line. So Don Bracken winds up with a 52-yard punt, one that really only went about 25 yards in the air. Pagnanelli, the sophomore, calling the signals, gives to his tailback Mccallum. Big hole at right tackle, and Boren trips him up as he crosses the 10 and gets to the 14-yard line. Back Jackson, and he fights his way over the 15 to the 18. Bostic's there, but he was tripped up as he went through the line. And the Middies have a first down at their own 18 with 4:45 remaining in the third quarter. Michigan 21, the Middies 6. Now Mitchell splits out wide to the left and Weiler wide to the right. A freshman receiver out there, and back goes Pagnanelli to throw. He fires it to Papa John, who has to make a diving catch at the 25 with Bostic all over him. He and Mitchell, both wide receivers, flanked out to the right. I formation behind Pagnanelli, the quarterback. He's got Jackson up close. Mccallum deep, gives to the tailback. Mccallum finds nothing at right tackle, cuts it back inside, fights his way for a couple up to the 28-yard line. Mccallum is up to 45 yards and 13 carries. I formation again with two receivers split to the right in the slot formation, and back goes Pagnanelli. Throws over the middle. Papa John makes a great catch and is upended by Boren at the 35. He had to go high in the air to snare that one. And Boren just hit him in the legs, and he did a flip right at the 35, but it's a gain of 7 again on the pass to the tight end. The backs are split, and the give is on a draw play to Mccallum, the tailback, and he fights his way over the 35, got a couple to the 37. Doug James, the middle guard, made the stop, read it very well, and Mike Bourne is again at the bottom of the pile, and I can't say enough about this 6'2", 217-pound sophomore from down in the land of the Olentangy, Columbus, Ohio. The backs in the power right. Mccallum and Jackson. Pagnanelli calls signals. Wingback goes in motion. Pagnanelli on the option. Keeps it over the 40 to the 44. First down, Navy. Good play. Right end. Cut it upfield. Got the first down to the Navy 44. And this is as good as the Navy offense has looked in the ballgame.
The selection of plays have been good, and the quarterback has handled the ball well. They've run hard, passed well. A good sequence of plays. 2 straight times they've thrown on first down. Let's see if they do it again here. 1st and 10, their own 44. In motion to the left is Papa John. The give, however, is to the fullback Skane, and he fights his way for a couple over the 45, maybe to the 47, where Gergash and Thompson beat him. Papa John, the tight end, in motion. Pagnanelli, the quarterback, back to throw. He's got Mccallum, the tailback, wide open at the 40. Cuts it outside, 35, 30, down to the Michigan 25-yard line. And finally, Marion Body came up to make the stop, but it's a big first down for Navy as Mccallum came out of the backfield and was wide open. I tell you, the selection of plays have been excellent. The execution has been excellent. They ran a man in motion who went deep, and McCallum came out of the backfield, and Pagnatelli hit him for a first down.
20-yard gain on the play. Navy has run 10 plays, starting at its own 6, is driven to the Michigan 25. First down there. Pagnanelli on the option right. Little mix-up in the backfield, and he has to keep the ball and is lucky to get it over the line of scrimmage and down around the Michigan 22-yard line. Michigan 22. 2 wideouts are Mitchell way to the left, and in the slot left is Weiler, and back goes Pagnanelli. He's going to run it straight up the middle, a big opening. He's to the 15, the 10, the 5, touchdown Navy. Marco Pagnanelli looking for a receiver, found no one open, and then burst through the middle of the Michigan defensive line. There was no one there, and Pagnanelli ran it all the way 22 yards for a Navy touchdown as the third quarter winds to an end. And Navy is suddenly back in the football game on the 22-yard burst by their quarterback, Marco Pagnanelli. What a drive. 94 yards in 12 plays.
Great poise. He showed great speed, and once he got in the open, gave a little deke out there and went in. I thought he was going to bust over the defensive back and gave him a little fake and went in the end zone. Great.
Too soon. Fair's kick is up, and it is good with a flag down on the field. So let's keep it right here. I believe Michigan was offside.
It appeared, and if that's true, the point will be good, or you give them the option now because you can go for 2 points, as you know. See what they decide.
I think Navy is going to take the 1 and be happy, and that's what's going to happen.
There'll be 5 yards. There'll be 5 yards on the kickoff.
So with the touchdown by Navy and the extra point by Seafarer, the third quarter has come to an end. Our score, Michigan 21, Navy 13 on this, the Michigan Football Network. Trim and Ricks in that backfield with Steve Smith. Out wide to the right, Brockington. Wide left is Bean, and the give is to Ricks, the tailback, and Navy's got it stacked up again. No gain on the play. In fact, Ricks may have lost a yard. Right now, let's pause 15 seconds for station identification. Second and 10 for Michigan at the 28. Smith back to throw, rushes on. They got him for a loss. Jordan, the nose tackle, threw again to make the tackle, and Smith is sacked for the third time this afternoon for a 12-yard loss, this time around the 16-yard line. Smith with a long snap count. The I formation behind him. The give is on a draw to Woolfolk. He's at the 15, the 20. Finds a little hole and gets it up to about the 22-yard line. Give Butch about 5 on the play, but that's well short of the first down. The 3 men back for Navy, but 2 of them are just safeties standing right around midfield. One is Pontiego, and the other is Brian Cianella. Here's the kick by Bracken, and this time he really booms it. Shumake back to his own 33. Fair catch there, and Navy will put it in play. Between its 33 and 34-yard line, trailing 21-13 with 12:56 remaining in the third quarter. New tailback again for Navy, the third one they've used. Rich Klaus is in the backfield, along with Tim Jackson, the fullback, behind Marco Pagnanelli. Winfred Caraway, by the way, is now in for Michigan in one tackle spot. Pagnanelli back, rolling left, throws it down the sideline to Mitchell, makes a leaping catch at the Michigan 48. Good pass, and had he thrown it on the money and not made Mitchell go up for it, Don, that one might have gone for 6.
It would have. He was so close to the sidelines that there wasn't much he could do, and it was just a fun pattern, or excellent run pattern that gave them the first down, and I agree with you. I think had it had to go up in the air, he might have gone all the way.
Jackson in the backfield behind quarterback Marco Pagnanelli, who's got the middies on the move. Give to Jackson right up the middle, and he's stacked up at the Michigan 45. Does it 2nd and 8 at the Michigan 45-yard line. Pagnanelli with a long snap count gives the ball to Klaus at right. The left tackle finds a hole there and fights his way down to the Michigan 42. Gergash made the tackle there. Now Mitchell splits out wide to the right. Weiler to the left. Papa John, the tight end, in the slot to the left. Now he comes in motion to the right. Pagnanelli calling the signals. Drops straight back to throw. Looking. Now he's going to run it up the middle and get the first down inside the 40 to the Michigan 35. Marco Pagnanelli, the sophomore quarterback out of Huntington Beach, California, once again bursts up the middle after finding all his receivers covered. And Evan Cooper finally makes the tackle at the 34, but not before Pagnanelli and Navy have another first down. Navy with so many underclassmen playing here today. They've done a good job. Welsh, we said earlier, we admire the job he has done at Navy. Under 11 minutes to play. Michigan 21, Navy 13. Now there is a flag thrown as Pagnanelli gets the snap.
I think it was an illegal procedure. One of their guards pulled too soon.
Wide to the right, the back split in the backfield behind the quarterback Pagnanelli, who drops back to throw. Fires it over the middle, caught by Papa John, the tight end. There's a flag down at the 30 where Papa John is tackled by Ben Needham. It's been against Michigan. Well, it was an inadvertent flag, says the official. He picks it up, tucks it in his pocket, and says, let's play ball. And Navy faces 3rd down and 6 at the Michigan 30, following the 8-yard gain on the pass from Pagnanelli to Papa John. 3rd and 6. Big play defensively for Michigan here. The ball at the left hash mark. Split out wide to the right is Mitchell. Wide to the left is Weiler. In the slot left, Papa John, the tight end. He's in motion now to the right. Pagnanelli back to throw. Fakes to his tailback. Pagnanelli rolls right. He's going to keep it. He breaks one tackle inside the 30, but he is brought down by Doug James at the 27-yard line. And that'll be about 3 yards short of the first down if they give him to the 27. Pagnanelli, the quarterback, will hold. The kick is in the air, and it is in that direction, and it is good. And so Steve Fair has booted his 3rd field goal of the ball game, a 45-yarder. And Navy is pulled to within 5. 8:52 remaining in the ball game. Our score, Michigan 21, Navy 16 on this, the Michigan Football Network. Following the Navy field goal, goes into the end zone, and Ricks is going to run it back. He's out to the 10 and brought down at the 13, and that was a mistake. Ricks was going to down it. He hesitated with the ball in the end zone and then said, here I come, boys. And Navy was all over it. Lawrence Ricks at the Michigan 13. And that can hurt. Now that Michigan offense has to start in a hole. Smith calls the signals, gives the ball to Woolfolk. Trying the left side. Woolfolk gets a block from his fullback Engram and gets up over the 15 to about the 16 or 17-yard line. Let's check some scores from around the country. Third quarter now. Michigan State 10, Bowling Green 7. And Smith now keeps it on the option right, cuts up over the 20, and is stacked up as he gets to about the 22-yard line. Just Engram and Woolfolk in the backfield, 3rd and inches at the 22. Give us to Engram, the fullback. First down up to the 25. He went in right tackle. Got a good block from Ed Moransky. That's your meat and potatoes, man, when you need a yard or so. A familiar eye behind Steve Smith, the Michigan quarterback, and he's back to throw. And he's going to keep it. He's hit. He breaks one tackle, fights his way back up to the 25. Paul Soares makes the hit secure after missing Smith once back around the 18 or 19-yard line. Smith once again calls the signals. Goes back to throw, fakes the draw to Woolfolk. Now he's rolling left, flips it over the middle to Butch, and it's batted away. Woolfolk had trouble holding onto it because it was thrown just a little high, and Woolfolk was hit by the linebacker, Chris Howard. They lead Navy by just 5. Now Smith calling the signals. He's got Bean split to the left, Brockington right, and back goes Steve Smith to throw. The sophomore throws on and out to Brockington. He's got it at the 43, first down Michigan. But a flag is down back at the 30-yard line. And let's wait to see what that's all about. Navy is pointing at Michigan, and the Navy bench is erupting with glee as that beautiful pass from Steve Smith to Fred Brockington on the out at the Michigan 43 looked like it was going to give the Wolverines a first down. But instead, a penalty will set Michigan back, and they'll have to go all over again on third down. Drops back to throw, gives on the draw to Woolfolk. Big hole up the middle to the 20, cuts to the outside, 25, out to the 28 where he is run out of bounds. It'll be short of a first down. Big hole in the middle, and Butch using that speed to get outside and go over the 100-yard mark for the ball game, but that is not important right now. Shumake, Pontiego, and Rusty Smith are deep for Navy. Rockin has the snap from center and kicks a beautiful spiral down to Shumake, who makes a fair catch at the Navy 29-yard line. A 43-yard punt by Bracken. There is no return. And hold on now. Navy, which has been able to move the football the last 2 possessions, takes over at its own 29, and that Michigan defense comes onto the field to the chants of the crowd here at U of M Stadium. Mccallum and Jackson are the running backs. They're in the pro set. Pagnanelli under this great noise gives to Mccallum up the middle, and he got just a yard as Cedric Coles and Doug James were there to make the stop. A 1-yard gain for Mccallum, the tailback. He's been the leading rusher for Navy today. 15 carries, 48 yards. Second down and 9. Gash is out of there, and Jerry Burguy is in, and quarterback Marco Pagnanelli calls in the officials and says, I can't hear a thing down here. Tell these 105,000 maize and blue fans to hold it down.
Well, I think you have to hold it down. We experienced last year at Wisconsin, and what they'll do, the officials will have the players go line up. If they continue, they have the press box make an announcement, and then they can go into delay of game. There's a lot of factors in this, Frank.
Navy breaks the huddle. Now they line up 3 receivers split wide. Mitchell, Weiler, and Papa John, the tight end. I formation in the backfield. Give his tailback Mccallum. Finds a hole at left tackle. Fights his way up to the 35. Gain of 5 on the play. And that will set up third down and 4 for Navy at its own 35 with just 5 minutes remaining in the football game. Yeah, but it was a gain of 5 for Mccallum. We're now down under 5 minutes to play in the ball game. Michigan 21, Navy 16. Big play right here. 3rd and 4 for the Middies at their own 35. Formation behind Pagnanelli, the quarterback, and he's back to throw. Swings it out left flat to the fullback, Jackson. Fights his way up over the 39. It's going to be close to a first down. We'll wait for the official decision from the referee, Ortho Courts, but I believe he made it. Jackson put his head down after catching that swing pass in the left flat, and it is a first down for Navy.
Outstanding effort on the part of Jackson. He caught the ball and had the momentum. Our backs came up and hit him, and he just made it by about, I'd say, 6 inches.
Looking downfield, got a man wide open in the middle. That is Weiler, the freshman, who has a first down at the Michigan 42-yard line. Tony Jackson and Evan Cooper make the tackle on Chris Weiler, the freshman wide receiver, but it's another Navy first down at the Michigan 42. Navy now moving. They get to Jackson, the fullback. Tries to find a hole at right tackle, but Gurgash and Robert Thompson bring him down as he reaches the 40. Nellie, the quarterback, has the I formation. 2 receivers lined up left. Flag down. The right tackle moved too early. That's Keith Boring for Navy, and that's going to cost them 5 yards. A costly mistake. Boring had set and then lifted up to say something to the tight end, Papa John. And Michigan has 13. Pagnanelli, the quarterback, out of the I formation. Drops back to throw. He's got some time. Throws over the middle of Papa John, and he dropped the football, but a flag comes flying in, and I think we're going to get an interference call on Keith Bostic at the Michigan 35. And that, of course, will give Navy a first down with 3.5 minutes to play. And that is the call. Interference against Michigan. Oh, boy, Don, we're going right down to the wire between Michigan and Navy. John, the tight end in the slot, left comes in motion right. And Pagnanelli back to throw. Blitz is on, throws it over the middle, dropped by Weiler at the Michigan 18. He was open. Ball thrown just a little high, but Weiler couldn't hold it. Boy, Mitchell splits out wide to the left. Mccallum and Jackson, the running backs in the eye. Papa John, the tight end, lined up left. Pagnanelli, the quarterback, gives it to Mccallum. He's got a hole on the right side, gets down to the 30. Out of bounds at the 25 of Michigan. And that will be another first down. Evan Cooper knocked him out, and Cooper is shaken up. He's holding his wrist. At the 23, 1st and 10 Navy. Two receivers lined up left. In the slot is Weiler. Wide is Mitchell, and back goes Pagnanelli. The blitz is on, and Michigan has got him for a loss. Back at the 32-yard line. Robert Thompson's in there. Burguy's in there. And another Michigan player is shaken up. Robert Thompson is down now. Oh, my goodness. It's player hurt every play.
You know, Michigan's defense is set up on the basis of being a little bit more conservative. Don't give them the big play. And finally, they put the rush on, which was a key, and thrown them for a loss. Frank?
Michigan has had injured players on 2 consecutive plays here. That is 5 starters who have gone down to injury in this ball game. Wilson Jackson in the backfield in the eye. Pagnanelli calling the signals, drops back to throw. Good protection this time. He's got a man open. It is Mitchell, and he just overthrew him in the Michigan end zone. And that was close. Mitchell got behind Body and Jackson, and Pagnanelli just overthrew him in the left corner of the Michigan end zone.
What can you say on that play, Frank?
Michigan got a break.
That's exactly right.
3rd down and 18 for Navy at the Michigan 31. Now Weiler and Mitchell, the wide receivers, to the left. Papa John, the tight end, to the right, and back goes Pagnanelli. He's got some time. Swings it out to Mccallum, his tailback, and Mccallum is brought down by Ben Needham at the 33-yard line. Great defensive play by Needham.
Needham smelled that one out, checked everything, and saw with the back coming out of the backfield, a little swing pass, and went over and made just a super play because he had a blocker on him also. So it was a good play by Ben Needham, making it 4th down. We'll see. I'm sure Navy will attempt to go for the first down.
Could be the ball game right here. 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. Mitchell wide to the right. Yelder to the left. Papa John, the tight end's aligned to the right. Pagnanelli calling the signals. Long snap count this time. Under 2 minutes to go. Pagnanelli back into the pocket. He's going to run it up the middle, and he's going to be brought down by Doug James. Doug James with a big defensive play at the Michigan 38, and the Wolverines have held Navy.
I tell you, Frank, it was a great effort, and number 73, James, stayed at home, and finally Pagnatelli couldn't shake it and was able to throw him down. And the backs, you got to give them credit because they had all the receivers covered. So there.
Tight ends in the game, and the gives to Woolfolk up the middle. Big holes. He fights his way over the 40 to the 44. 15 seconds here for station identification on the University of Michigan Football Network. To 1:15 remaining in the game. 2nd and 4 for Michigan at its own 45-yard line. Give again to Woolfolk. Tries to find a hole at right tackle. Nothing there. He's brought down by Tim Jordan, the middle guard. And now, I believe we'll see Navy call timeout. They're going to wait till after this play. 3rd down and 2. They're calling it at the Michigan 47. And it's a long 2 to go. 44 seconds left. The clock running. Smith comes over center. Those 2 tight ends are in. Woolfolk and Engram, the running backs. In motion, Betts to the left. And the give is to Woolfolk. Coming left, and Woolfolk is strung out and brought down as he crossed the 45. And now, Navy calls timeout after holding Michigan with 28 seconds remaining in the ballgame. Michigan will be forced to punt. But the Navy 16 over this, the Michigan Football Network. With 28 seconds left to play, Don Bracken back to punt on 4th and 3. The line of scrimmage is the Michigan 46. Shumake in the deep spot. Good snap. Rockin gets his kick away and hangs it up beautifully. It's going to sail into the end zone, however. 54-yard punt by Don Brockin, and Navy will have the ball at its own 20-yard line. 20 seconds remaining in the football game. The Middies trailing by 5, 21-16, and they have one timeout remaining. A man to the right, and back goes Pagnanelli. He's going to look deep, and he's throwing deep, and he's got three receivers down there. The ball's batted away by Bostic. He overthrew Mitchell, Papa John, and McCallum. The three receivers down around the Michigan 30-yard line. I want to tell you, he heaved the football 60 yards in the air, though.
That's when they stopped the long one.
Well, that's a time when you might be able to pop that little slant over the middle.
That's right.
For some awfully good yardage, but they're going to need a lot of it in a hurry. 14 seconds, only one time out. Pagnanelli calling the signals. Once again, a three-man split to the right in the trips formation, and back he goes to throw. Once again, he lofts it up. This time for Papa John. It's batted in the air, and it's intercepted by Michigan. Intercepted by Jeff Reeves on the deflection at the Michigan 46, and that will seal it. Michigan will beat Navy. The crowd goes wild once again with 6 seconds remaining on the clock. Jeff Reeves in there as Michigan going to the prevent defense. And the senior out of Columbus, Ohio, came up with a tip pass intended for Navy tight end Greg Papajohn. And Michigan takes over with 6 seconds to go and will win for the second consecutive week. This a tight ball game, however. Michigan 21, Navy 16. Steve Smith, no doubt, will just fall on the football. The ball at the Michigan 46, and the Wolverines are going to escape with one here. This was a close call. Smith falls on it. See if Navy uses that last timeout. I believe they do. With 2 seconds to go, Navy calls timeout once again. It is hopeless, of course, but you don't go down without a fight.
You never know. Strange thing happened. On the snap, there could be something happen. I'm just talking about possibilities. I hope they don't happen.
Smith will fall on it. This will be the last play of the ball game. The clock winds down to 1. There goes the gun. The ball game is over. And Michigan has pulled out this decision from Navy. The heavily favored Wolverines walk off the field and know they have been in some kind of battle this afternoon. Our final score from U of M Stadium, Michigan 21, Navy 16. We'll be back in a moment on the Michigan Football Network.
All right, and so we barely win one. And that was the Michigan-Navy game of 1981. Michigan 21, Navy 16 is the final score. Boy, we were all sweating it out, hoping that Michigan could pull it off. Frank Beckmann from the WJR Michigan Football Network lending support with the audio right off the radio for this particular game as the Michigan
Minks to be able to pick him up.
Senior Izzy Matthews back in for third down. 6 plays, all runs following the interception. And now Carter Samuel's first throw of the drive to the outside. That's a first down, Warren Jackson. So you get the little easy roll on 3rd and 3 to get the completion and move the chains.
Good job on the run of putting the ball right where he needs to be. Warren Jackson, one of those tall receivers, 6'6", 214 pounds, little rub right out there on the boundary for the first.
More motion. Looked like the Rams got away with it again. Here's a different flag as Matthews has stood up right at the line of scrimmage and then shoved back, but we'll check the flag.
Holding. Offense number 69. 10-yard penalty. It's first down.
We talked about the freshman left tackle on Hawaii's side. Now it's our turn for Colorado State.
Here he is over here. Moved a little bit early, just gets beat inside. And you see those hands. That's typical of a young guy. You can just tell by his build that he's a young guy, but converted walk-on redshirt freshman. Got some versatility. Plays all along the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I was going to say they had Wesley at right tackle on the last play. And now we're headed the other direction for Colorado State as Matthews is dropped for a loss back at the 45-yard line.
And these penalties are drive killers, man. Look at what it's done to them. They're second and forever now. And this is where, with a young football team, you have to regain your composure. Carter Samuels has to eat up about half of this yardage to give himself a makeable first down.
And so sure enough to the outside into the hands of Izzy Matthews. He's dragged down right around the 40, but you're still going to be facing 3rd and long. Kalen Hicks, the junior safety from Las Vegas, with the stop on Matthews, and this is 3rd and dangerous.
Yeah, another missed tackle there. What Hawaii's been doing early is bringing a lot of edge pressure. That's what opened them up inside and why the Rams decided to be able to take advantage of it here. I don't know if they're going to bring pressure here. I'd be safer than sorrier because of the distance that they need to go to convert here.
Perfect so far, but this is the longest 3rd down attempt at 3rd and 17. Carter Samuels just throwing to the short stick. It's caught, but nowhere close to a first down. Okeke on the stop. Cameron Butler, the tight end, makes the grab. 4th down, and yet again, you're kind of in no man's land now. Colorado State has an excellent kicker in Wyatt Bryan, but that's part of the discussion with Mike Bobo, and you're actually going to see the punter, Ryan Stonehouse, come out. So rather than a 51-yarder, not a lot of wind, Stonehouse, the sophomore, to try and pin him back. Ross Ryder, the long snapper. Stonehouse hits it at the 46. Did he hang it high enough? The answer is no. Into the end zone for a touchback. Stonehouse disappointed. Rams disappointed. 0 points on the board, and Hawaii gets it back. Up by 9.
Meg, there you are. Did you take a picture of the cake to put on our website? I mean, I would have, but I'm a commercial vehicle, so I don't have hands. Or a camera, or a website. Shumake franchise, is the market ready for that? Can we franchise? How do you do that? Meg, we should do that thing where you put the business cards in the fishbowl and somebody wins something.
I'm here for the Evans wedding.
We've got the cake in the back, so yeah.
Progressive knows small business makes big demands.
You're not gonna make it. Ask her if we can do her next wedding, too.
So we'll design the insurance solution that fits your business.
Rematch. Canelo. When you know you the best of the best. And you not like the rest, now you better than the rest. It's the fight of your life. It's time to reign supreme. And fulfill all your dreams. This is history. Uppercut, right hand, viciously. Uppercut, hard right hand by Triple G. The rematch has come. Who gon' be the winner? There can only be one. Rematch.
Canelo versus Triple G2 is live September 15th on pay-per-view.
Rematch. Canelo. When you know you the best of the best. And you not like the rest, now you better than the rest. It's the fight of your life. It's time to reign supreme. And fulfill all your dreams. This is history. Uppercut, right hand, viciously. Uppercut, hard right hand by Triple G. The rematch has come. Who gon' be the winner? There can only be one. Rematch.
Canelo versus Triple G2 is live September 15th on pay-per-view.
You're Your Las Vegas Hyundai dealers Labor Day sales event is on now. Don't miss the best offers of the summer. Get 0% APR for 72 months on new 2018 Hyundai Accents, Elantras, Santa Fe Sports, and Sonatas. Plus, your first year's registration is included. Exclusively at these 3 locations only. Centennial Hyundai, Hyundai of Las Vegas, and ABC Hyundai. Go to HyundaiDealers.Vegas now for details.
Just go to the site.
It is with sadness that we need to tell you that CBS News has learned that United States Senator John McCain of Arizona has passed away. An American hero, a Vietnam War veteran, and we join the nation in saying goodbye to John McCain. On the football field, Cole McDonald pass is incomplete, intended for Cedric Byrd, and a flag is down.
It's going to be offsides, another penalty on Emmanuel Jones.
There were 2 fouls on the play. Holding, offense number 57, offside. Defense number 33 was in the neutral zone at the snap. These fouls offset. It's first down.
It's called a good miss, Carter. When it hits a tree and goes back into the fairway, that's what it is here. Here's McDonald down at the bottom of your screen.